Oh, let me get off the echo effect.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Monday night, 6 p.m. Fun time with Dissecting the Quran series show.
Sorry.
Me and Paul, and I believe Sister Leah will be here later, and maybe Larry. Jesus Worldwide. I believe Sister Leah will be here later, and maybe Larry.
You might have you. Somebody has YouTube Live. That's what I had to mute.
Yeah, that's me.
I had it just a second ago. I'm guilty.
Yeah,
I was guilty last. I was guilty yesterday.
All right, so let's get started. But before we get started, let's do an intro. Okie dokie. Let's take that out. Give me a little.
Do you want me to share mine, or I can do that? Make life easier for you.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you to do that because I was getting the internet where I had like just one bar.
Yeah.
And last time I did that, it would not recognize my scrolling through the thing. So let me add yours instead of mine.
All right.
I'll just read from mine because I don't want to lose my eyesight, which is already bad. Tell your friends. I'm going to have to get a different reading glasses because I think I told you.
I just waiting for my new glasses. Just ordered, so I'm excited.
Okay. Let's blow that up. They don't need to see our good-looking faces. Okay.
We're starting in verse 10. You said.
Well, actually, I made a mistake. It's verse 11.
I think it's 11. Yeah.
Okay, so starting in verse 11, we left off in verse 10. I just looked at it. I'm like, that doesn't make sense to start at 10 when. Okay, this is the alleged slander of Muhammad's favorite wife, Aisha. Now, we all know Aisha was 6 years old when he married her and 9 years old when he mounted her. When 3 witnesses accused her of adultery, Muhammad then increased the required number of witnesses to 4 so that he would not have to punish her. When Muhammad married Aisha, she was 6 and he was 51. That is despicable. And you know what I'm going to do so you don't have to go back and forth from
you think about this. She was married to him for 9 years, and when he died, she was 18. That childhood is gone.
Let's see. Yeah, I think it probably explains why she never had any kids. I think her reproductive system was destroyed. Okay, so 24 is the light. I want to go to discriminator, and then I want to go up so we can see what those. Number 1, the slander. Okay. All right, but I haven't gotten there yet. Let's see if I remember. Surely those who came with the slander were a group among you. That doesn't make no sense. You do not consider it evil for you.
So the people who are coming to make this accusation are a group from among the Muslims.
Yeah.
They don't consider evil because they don't consider what they're doing slander, because he's already told them, if you've got 3 witnesses, come forward. They have 3 witnesses.
Well, this must have been a very small group because remember, the first 12 years that Muhammad was in Mecca, he barely got 100 and something followers. Mm-hmm. So probably at this time,
and most of them left to go to a Christian country,
or they died. Yeah, they went to what was it, Abyssinia?
Yes, Abyssinia.
So they say. I
If they existed then.
Yeah, I'm not buying that crap. Okay. Yet it is good for you to every one of them what he earned of the sin. Okay. And as for
How do
him
you
who
wait? What are they earning here? They're coming to talk about something. They're supposed to be talking about he considers slander. What are they earning by coming forward?
I don't have a clue. And I see the sex bots are on tonight. I messed up, pissed off
I'll
some.
help take care of that.
Okay, yet it is good for you to every one of them what he earned of the
You guys
sin.
are fast.
And as for him who had the biggest share among them, he will have a great torment. Now, I don't see what that has to do with the first one, where it's talking about surely those who came with the slander. I mean, this is like puggly wash.
Well, I think Muhammad doesn't want to admit if he's real. I mean,
Right.
nobody wants to put any bad news about Aisha in this book. Well, she's being accused of something. I mean, if that's what it doesn't communicate very clearly. We don't know they're talking about Aisha. We don't know what they're talking about here or who.
A lot of it is just assumptions.
Yeah.
And I believe Islam is based on assumptions and hearsay. You have to go to the scholars hundreds of years into the future, and they're going to tell us what the Quran says or what Allah said, because this is supposed to be Allah's word. Okay, number 12. Were it not that when you heard it, meaning the slander, the believing man and the believing women had thought of themselves good and said, this is manifest slander. None of this crap makes any sense, man.
We don't know what this slander is.
Now I know why that
the only clue that
Muslim,
we have is this piece up here that Usama kindly put in for us.
Right. Again, the whole premise of this, ladies and gentlemen, is you don't have the nice little footnotes that Osama puts in here to let you know what the Quran is talking about. If you were to pick up this book without those nice little notes, you would have no clue. How would you be able to know that this is talking about Aisha when Aisha is not mentioned in the Quran? Now, here's a better thing. Why is God so concerned with this? Why is this in a book? How is that revelation, Paul? Ask me. How is that revelation?
Well, if there's, this is again, we get back to what I was talking about with con man language. The issue is with con man language, I can make these broad manifest statements that literally mean nothing, but because they're so broad, anybody can come along and say they mean this.
13. Were it not that they had brought 4 witnesses against it. Again, we don't know what that is, but since they did not bring the witnesses,
sorry.
So those with Allah in Allah's sight are the liars.
Actually, I pushed the button. Sorry. All right.
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
I can't see what you're doing.
Okay.
Okay, 14. And were it not for the bounty of Allah on you and his mercy in this world and in the hereafter, a great torment would have touched you because of what you have plunged into when you threw it, say the slander, when you say the slander with your tongue, and you say by your mouth what you do not have knowledge of, and you consider it a light thing. It is
so wait. So he's accusing them all of lying here.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't even know. Again, we don't know what these charges are. We don't know who they're against. We don't know, but somebody is making an accusation. Maybe it's Allah. Because I haven't heard anything that says say. There's somebody's accusing 3 witnesses of committing the horrible lie of lying in a Sharia court.
Yep.
But I thought lying was permissible.
Well, I guess three occasions, I guess lying against the prophet's wife is probably not one of them. If you want to stay alive. Okay, so apparently this is not a light thing. It is great with Allah. Allah does not like for you to slander or lie. 16.
Only if it's okay if it's against him,
Yeah,
but not against Aisha.
yeah. And were it not that you heard it, you said, oh my God, this is why that poor guy, that poor Muslim that was communicating with me on the last one, he did the same mistake Allah did. He had a singular and then a plural.
And did you ask him if what language was his, which was his is this a second language type thing?
Yeah, I think it probably would have been a second language. And then there's another one who wants to debate me, but he wants to debate the Quran versus the Bible, which one is true. And I told him, listen, I only strictly deal with Quran claims.
You can't address two topics at the same time. It's one topic.
Also,
that's what debates are for.
Right. Also, logic dictates that just because A is false doesn't mean that B is true. See,
yes,
they're under the assumption that if they can prove that Christianity is false, somehow magically Islam becomes true. But logic says that A and B can be false at the same time.
Yes.
So, which is another reason why I don't do A versus B. There is nothing that says that I have to prove A to be true while I'm trying to prove B is false. I can prove B false on its own. So if he wants to do that, great. If he doesn't want to do it, well, go find somebody else. Okay. Praise be to you. This is a great slander. Allah preaches. I didn't know Allah preaches.
We don't even know what they're talking about still. They haven't, I mean,
Right.
if we didn't have, there's nothing clear here. Nothing.
Well, now we know that Allah is a preacher. Because according to 17, Allah preaches to you that you will never return to the like of it if you were believers. We have no clue what this you will never return to the like of it. The like of what?
You know, I've never heard that. I mean, you'll never hear that about the God of the Jews or the God of the Christians. Well, I mean, Jesus, when he was walking the earth, preached. There's a difference. So is Allah now walking the earth? Because you can't preach unless you're talking to a. So this is really interesting.
The next one is a kicker. And Allah makes his verses clear to you.
He hasn't yet, not since verse 11. That's for sure.
And Allah is knowing and wise. I'm sorry, Allah. I have no clue what this is about. Who slandered who?
We don't. I mean, apparently Allah's upset that he thinks someone's lying. He thinks 3 people are lying, but he hasn't told us what the lie is. He hasn't. I mean, the only reason we know again is because Usama put a note there.
Yeah. But honestly, is this Allah speaking about some people saying that, you know, Aisha did something, or is this Muhammad telling us? I mean,
or is this simply some guy 200 years later saying that's what fits here?
Yeah. Okay, 19. Surely those who love to spread indecency among those who believed will have a painful torment in the world and in the hereafter. Now, I wonder what kind of painful torment is going to be in this world.
All I know is that Allah loves torment.
Yeah.
He loves to torment people.
One of these days, I'm going to do a search for, as a matter of fact, let me go to Corpus Quran and see how many times will we find the word torment.
With Allah? in the same sentence? Can you do that? Allah and torment?
According to this, there's only 7, but I could swear I've seen more than 7. There is no way.
Sometimes we find 2 or 3 in the same verse.
I mean, there is no way that, according
there must be lots of words for torment.
According to Corpus Quran, there isn't even the word torment in chapter 24. But wait a minute, didn't we just read it here? Maybe I spelled it wrong.
Torment.
No, that's how I spelled it. It's telling me that nope, there is no such thing.
We got to remember, in Arabic, when they believe in a variety of spellings, they don't believe in the permanence of print. So they might spell it differently. I like this. Jesus worldwide. Torment is about the only clear thing in the Quran.
Yeah.
Marion, torment in the book. Yes, it's just torment reading the book too.
Okay, wait. Okay, Allah makes his verses clear to you. Allah is all knowing, all wise. Surely those who have spirit and decency. Okay, 20. And were not for the bounty on you and his mercy, and Allah is the compassionate, the merciful.
So what is it? Were it not for the bounty? I mean, we don't know what does that mean? Were it not for the bounty of Allah on you? We don't, I mean, a bounty to us, when we talk about a bounty, somebody gets paid for delivering you. Because you're captured, you are a wanted person. Is this a different meaning of bounty?
I have no clue. I'm
We
thinking
can't know because Allah isn't clear. Yet he claims to be clear. I still think he's compensating.
I think this is I mean, I think of a bounty like you did. It's like a reward or what the person gets paid. Typically, a bounty hunter would get paid for bringing you back for, maybe you skipped out on your bail or something like that. Or it's the bounty that you get after you raid a city and you kill everybody or kill, the men.
That's booty. That's booty.
Oh, that's booty. Okay. But that's Allah's bounty to you. It's booty to them. Okay, 21. O you who have believed, do not follow the steps of Satan. That's what Speed 4 was saying. And whoever follows the steps of Satan, so surely he is commanded with indecency and the evil.
Wait a minute. Doesn't Muhammad at some point do what Satan tells him to? Or doesn't he repeat verses? I mean, have we already read those in here? I mean, I thought we had. Or maybe I'm wrong.
And here's the funny thing. What's the start of verse 20? And were it not for the bounty of Allah? Okay. And what am I reading here at the end of, I guess maybe at the middle of verse 21? And were it not for the bounty of Allah on you and his mercy? And now all they did was change, and Allah is hearing and knowing. The other one said, and Allah is compassionate and merciful. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy is not original. It's basically word for word, and all he did was change the last two words. None of you would have. I
mean, we got to think about this. 50%, maybe 65% of the Quran would be gone if you just delete the repeated stuff.
Yeah. I sent Leia the link. Maybe she's busy or something. Yep. None of you. Okay. And and were it not for the bounty of Allah on you and his mercy, none of you would have ever been pure. But Allah purifies whom he wills. And Allah is hearing, knowing. Okay. 22.
So you don't, again, we keep saying this over and again. Why follow Allah if he only purifies who he wills? That means that anybody who's not following him, it's Allah's will that you not be following him. So there's no purpose in dawah. There is no reason for a Muslim to spread their beliefs, because it doesn't matter if they share their beliefs or not. The only people who are going to be falling for this are the people who don't read this book, number one. And it's, you got to remember, Allah decides who. He decides, he'll flip a coin. Okay, yeah, I'm interested. No, I'm not. Again, he says it again and again throughout this Quran.
Okay, let's see, 22. And do not let persons of wealth and plenty among you swear that they will not give to the closets of their kinsmen and the poor and the immigrants for the sake of Allah. But let them rather pardon and forgive. Do you not love Allah, that Allah forgave you? So Allah's talking.
Wait, it says, do you not love that Allah forgave you?
Yeah. Okay.
We don't know what he forgave us for.
But Allah's talking in the past. So who's he talking to? Who did he
forgive us for? I mean, and there's nothing here. And maybe maybe it has to do with those people who maybe like he claims they lied against Aisha. We really have no clue. These generalities. I keep saying con man language. Anybody can interpret it any way.
Yeah, and the funny thing, I'm pretty sure in the desert people didn't have closets.
Oh, that could be funny. So if they don't have a closet, are we now in someplace else? Where would that be? Could it be Petra?
I'm thinking it's referring to giving like clothes or something. Well,
Well,
that's what
I
you
mean, if
keep
you
in a
have,
closet.
okay, we're not
You know,
talking tent. So if we're talking in a city, and if you understand, Mecca did not exist at this point. I mean,
right.
if there's tents there, it's a surprise. There's no water there. It just doesn't make sense. So again, this just, I mean, if there was a physical place, I mean, these aren't tents, is what they're trying to say. But these are physical buildings. Maybe a Medina, which is also at this time would have been called Yathrib.
Yeah.
Maybe they had closets in Yathrib. It's hard to believe because I think closet space would have been developed later, which would be, I mean, you have to have places for things. A storage space is something that gets developed at a later time.
Okay. Jesus Worldwide says the Legacy Quran says tournament is mentioned 420 times. I believe so. I honestly do not understand why Corpus Quran is saying only 7. They're usually
Well,
pretty good.
I can tell you why. They realize people are using Corpus Quran that don't follow Islam. We're using it to teach others why not to follow.
That is very strange. I'm going to have to look into that. Okay, do you not love that Allah forgave you? And Allah is forgiving and merciful. Oh, number 4.
Surely those who
Accuse.
Surely
those who accuse the married, the unaware, the believing woman, they are cursed in this world and in the hereafter, and they will have a great torment. Well, let's torment again.
So wait a minute. So these are plural women, which means, I mean, this is not a couple. This is plural, right? So there are 3 women that are accused?
Well, I mean, it's yeah.
So if you accuse a woman or you accuse women, I thought this was against a singular woman. Now we have 3 women accused.
That's another good point. How many women were accused of being, Are
these 3 women who are married to the same guy?
I mean, could be. You're allowed.
It says surely those who through the married, the unaware, the believing women. This is confusing.
Surely those who slandered the married, the unaware, the believing women. Doesn't make no sense. They are cursed in this world and in the hereafter, and they will have a great torment. Well, I mean, what's new?
But again, if you have to have 3 witnesses and 3 witnesses come forward.
Well, now it's 4. Apparently 3 3 would have gotten Aisha in some serious trouble. And you can't have the prophet's number 1 wife, being, getting stoned to death.
Because she doesn't believe him.
Yeah. Okay, let's go 24. A day their tongues and their hands and their legs will witness against them because of what they were doing.
How do your legs and hands?
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't have a clue.
This doesn't make any sense.
I mean, given the fact that you got a stone that's going to have a tongue in the mouth, maybe my legs are going to grow a tongue in a mouth and a tongue, and it's going to say what I did. Other than that, it makes no sense to say that a day their tongues and their hands and their legs will witness against them. I don't know what that means. I'm pretty sure even the Muslims don't know what that means because, Allah did say his verses are clear. And that's on that day. Now, why couldn't Allah just say on the day of resurrection? It's in the Bible, ladies and gentlemen. God in the Bible does not say on that day. If he's talking about resurrection, he says on the day of resurrection, Allah will pay them back their true debt, and they will know that Allah is the clear truth.
Wait, so think about this. Allah's going to give them back their debt, so he's actually going to make them owe him more, or is he? I mean, when you're paying somebody back, debt is something you owe, and if Allah's giving you the debt back, he's doubling your debt. That's scary.
The joys.
Or did Allah owe you? That's another question. Maybe he's saying it's our debt, but if he's doubling the debt, he's making it's quite
in order
hard.
for Allah to pay back any debts,
he had to owe it.
Mean that Allah is the one who owes the debt.
Yes, that's what I'm getting at.
Back the debt, but he's going to pay the true one. So if you say, "Hey Allah, you owe me $30,000," Allah says, "No, I owe you $25,000. Don't try to cheat me." All right, 26. Wow. Devious women for devious men, and devious men for devious women. Okay, that makes no sense because devious women for devious men, that's already taken care of. So now he reverses what he just said, which is saying the same thing.
Well, it's because Allah doesn't have any he's just not. I mean, this is a man with limited vocabulary. Using our Arabic as a second language, it sounds like he's repeating words he just learned.
And now he repeats it again. And kind women for kind men, and kind men for kind women. Allah, you took care of it when you said kind women for kind men. Period. End. No need to repeat it again and reverse it. It's not like he's adding a different category. It's the same category. Kind women, kind men. There you go. If a woman can't have anything but a kind man, why does Allah need to say, "Oh, a kind man for a kind woman"? You already explained that. Those who will be acquitted from what they said, to them forgiveness and a generous provision. Ooh, sounds like a court case.
So you get acquitted, you get declared not guilty from what they said. So they weren't guilty of anything. So why is he giving them forgiveness?
I don't know. And who is he giving forgiveness to?
So again, they're declared not guilty. They didn't do anything. Really weird.
Maybe he's talking about the kind women. I have no clue.
Again, they haven't done anything wrong.
Right. All you who have believed, do not enter houses that are not your houses until you ask permission and greet its family.
There's another possibility about that word forgiveness. Could this be another word that Allah doesn't know?
I mean, it could be. This is good for you. Perhaps you will remember. So next time, Paul, you go to somebody's house, make sure you ask permission before you enter the house. Oh, I don't think we've gotten to the one that says Allah allows you to eat in your house. Or maybe we did. 28. So if you did not find anyone in it, so do not enter it until you receive permission.
So don't just walk into anybody's house.
Right.
You got to have permission.
And if it is said to you, return, so return. But wait a minute, there's nobody at the house, so nobody's going to give you permission and nobody's going to send you away.
Well, I guess if somebody says return, regardless, you showed up, you go home, and they say, come on back. All right, that makes sense. And someone says you missed, yeah, okay, sorry I missed you. But it's very, very unclear, unfortunately.
Okay, this is the purest for you, and Allah is the knower of what you do.
do we really know what Allah actually knows?
No, I
Because
don't know.
he shows us a lot of what he doesn't know. I mean, the God of perhaps.
Okay, it is not a sin for you to enter houses, not dwell in it. Okay, that makes no sense. Okay, so it's not a sin for you to enter houses, not dwell in it. Okay, all right. I mean, Allah, you could have upped your game and reworded that, but that's
Oh,
okay.
I gotta go back. I just noticed this is from Built for Speed. Has me laughing here. He wrote, wait, how are the unbelieving women going to be cursed? Oh, we're down. He's going down to 31, so I'll wait. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Okay, it is not a sin for you to enter houses, not dwell in it. In it, there is an enjoyment for you. In what? Entering houses but not dwelling in them? And Allah
Isn't that
knows,
what we call rating?
yeah, I don't know. And Allah knows what you show and what you hide. Okay. 30. Say to the believing men that they restrain their eyes and keep their private parts. Okay.
So you keep your zipper up, guys. That's what. That's about as clear as. That's the most clear thing I've heard.
Yeah, but the problem
Restrain your eyes.
is,
Stop
yes,
lusting. Okay,
but the
that
problem,
that kind of
yeah.
makes clear. Have we actually found something that sounds clear? But is he consistent?
Well,
Was what we'll ask.
it wouldn't be clear if we didn't have the maintain their chastity, because you're reading this, it says, okay, I got to sow the believing men. Oh, say to the believing men that they restrain their eyes and keep their private parts. Period. Keep their private parts what? In their pants? In their robe?
Hopefully,
This
not
is the
someplace else. Not out in the public. Hopefully,
yeah.
keep their private
This
parts private.
this is purest for them. Surely Allah is aware of what they do. Okay. All right. Women must hide their bosoms and not display their ornaments. I don't know what that means. They may, however, expose themselves to certain members of their family and to male slaves. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's hang it all out. 31. And say to the believing women to restrain their eyes and to keep their private parts and do not display their ornaments.
Which would
Except,
be hair. Hair is generally what they would call. Again, that's the ornaments is a reference to the hair.
yeah, I mean, Allah could have said, and veil your hair. Okay,
But he
well,
doesn't. Yeah,
yeah.
that would be clear. But
I mean,
we're talking about the
ornaments. Hell, I'm thinking of a Christmas tree and the hanging balls from there. Okay, and do not display their ornaments except that which appears from it. What appears from it? And that they throw their evil. Oh, see, I'm starting to put things in there that doesn't exist, and that they throw their veils over their bosoms, and do not display. Okay, come on, Allah.
their ornaments instead of
How many
saying their
times are you
hair.
going to say display their ornaments?
He can't. I don't know why it's too hard. I mean, does Allah not know the word for hair?
Okay, so except to their husbands or their fathers. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay, because it's talking about women, so fathers would be correct. Or their husbands' fathers, or their sons, or their husbands' sons, or their brothers, or their brothers' sons, or their sisters' sons, or their women, or what their right hand possessed, or or, or the male followers who have no substantial sexual desire, or to the children who have not looked at the woman's private parts.
So he's okay. He's including. Keep in mind here. We're talking about eunuchs here, the ones who have no sexual desire because it's been chopped off.
Yeah, but check this out. So it's okay for you to display your bosoms and your ornaments to
No.
your
It's not
husband.
just okay. It doesn't say. It's only talking about this. Well, keep their private parts and do not display their ornament. Oh my gosh, maybe you're right.
Right.
That's kind of scary. They can show
Yeah.
their private parts.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, if we go back to 31 and we read it again, okay, and say to the believing women, restrain their eyes and keep their private parts, okay, maintain their chastity, and do not display their ornaments, except that which appears from it, and that they throw their veils over their bosoms and do not display their ornaments, except. So, as a believing woman, you can expose your private parts and your ornaments to your husbands or their fathers or their husbands' fathers.
Oh, wow.
Or their sons. So you can expose your vajayjay to your son.
Wow.
Or the sons of their husbands. Or the sons, okay, the
Of
sons
their women.
or their husbands. Or the sons of
Who's
their
your
brothers.
grandchildren? Oh,
So you can display your vajayjay to your nephew. Or their brother's sons, or their sister's sons.
I think Masama specifically saying this refers to the breast. He's being kind by saying bosoms, but wow.
Okay.
I mean,
but we do know that it says that you can expose your private parts.
yes.
You don't have to keep your private parts. You can display it to all these people.
That's just unbelievable. Wow.
Right here?
Muhammad is a real perv. Whoever's writing this is a real
I think
perv.
Allah's a real perv because these are commands from Allah.
Oh, doesn't that imply that Allah has to be human?
Yeah, Allah's got some sexual desires. That's why he wants to keep the women, keep their private vajayjays hidden.
I mean,
or their right hands possessed. So this is why he says they can expose themselves to the slaves or the male followers who have no sexual desire. Now, why would Muslim men be
well, these
castrated?
are okay. Maybe there's gay men. That's the only other thing I can
could
think
be.
of. Or they're too old. I know. This is it. They're too old. They're just way too old. I mean, they're like Muhammad's age at a certain point, when towards his death.
Or to children who have not looked at a woman's private part. So if the child has looked at the woman's private part, it's okay.
But as soon as he looks at his mom like that.
Okay. Now here's a funny one that I really don't understand this one. And not stomp with their legs so that their hidden ornaments may be
this one known. I actually know. So this is a reference to when you're covering of the hair. This is why I'm saying this hidden ornaments has a reference to the hair. So they actually have this in Sharia where they talk about women stomping with their feet so the hijab comes up so the men could see their hair, how pretty their hair was. So it's a reference to women with stomps to show they're not bald or that they have pretty hair. And they women want to be thought of as pretty. They do. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
And
hey,
but Allah wants you. It's okay to show your private parts, but don't stop. Yeah, out in public.
Okay,
so you can show your hair.
And repent to Allah together. Oh, you believers, perhaps you may prosper.
You know what's crazy? I heard someone try to reinterpret this before and say, no, they're just talking about the woman when they're like infants and stuff, and
no,
which would make sense then, but that's not what it says.
So I'm just curious. Did you? I don't know how long you've been listening, but did you? This is just mind-numbing when you think about it. I mean, I've read this. I don't know how many times I've read this passage, but every time I read it, it just sounds more perverted. We're just talking about how they could. I mean, this almost pretty much gives the husband permission to have his female, his wife, pretty much naked.
No, and not just that. They have the rest of the other family members, not just
yes,
his own wife. It's vice versa.
Yeah.
Free for all.
Man, I just read a whole freaking list, and I mean, it's like, holy moly! So all those people can see her vajayjay in her ornaments. Okay, 32, and have sex with the unmarried among you, and the good among your slaves and the maidservants. Okay. Now, aren't your maidservants also slaves?
So think about this. He's already talked about a problem with adultery, and we just talked about a problem with adultery, and now he's talking about having sex with the unmarried. I thought we were talking about adultery being wrong, but now
Well,
it's
I
right.
mean, I didn't read the marry part, but we know nikah doesn't
Oh
mean
no,
marry.
and have sex with
Yeah.
the unmarried.
Right. But if you take out the sex and replace it with married, then it says, well, it wouldn't make sense. And have marry? No, okay. Yeah. Okay. Allah's a poor communicator. What can I say? Okay. And
Well, I think Allah just wants to legalize sex, and in any way, but then he doesn't want. It's just really bizarre. He's not a
if
clear communicator, and it's he's just a perv. I'm sorry.
if they are poor, Allah will enrich them from his bounty. And Allah is bountiful, knowing. Slaves should not be used in prostitution unless they are willing.
Wait. Are you telling me slaves, people who are owned, will willingly sell their body even though they are slaves? I mean, they have a choice. If
Okay,
you're owned, do you really have a choice?
Okay, 5 slaves. And let those who cannot afford to have sex keep themselves chaste until Allah enriches them of his bounty. And those of whom your right hand possesses,
Those are the slaves, the sex slaves.
the slaves who desire a book. What does that mean, a book?
I guess we're talking
a
about
document to be set free. Okay, who desire books to be set free. You know, I would never know that that's what it means. And this is the joy of reading the Quran. I mean, so write it for them if you know that there is some good in them, and give to them from Allah's money. Allah has money. Allah is a banker. And give from Allah's money what he gave you. Well, if Allah gave you the money, it's no longer his, it's yours. And do not compel your young females to become prostitutes if they want to keep chaste, so that you seek the material of the world's life.
Wait. Do not compel young females to become prostitutes if they want to keep their legs closed.
Yeah.
So that you seek material of the world's life. How are you seeking the material of the world's life if you plan to? This is almost contradictory. This is really bizarre.
Yeah, it makes no sense. And whoever compels them to prostitution, so surely after they were compelled.
So it sounds like they did it anyways.
Allah is forgiving, merciful.
So if you compel someone to be a prostitute, it's okay with Allah. He'll forgive you.
Yeah, but I'm not sure who's he forgiving. The man who forced her into prostitution or compelled her? Or
he's not talking to the
woman.
Prostitute here, though. That's the important part. Allah is not talking to the prostitute. He's talking to the men here who would force them.
And yeah, sure, Allah. Yeah. Yeah. And indeed, we have sent down to you clear verses and an example of those who passed away before you, and a sermon to the fear. I told you, Allah has become a pastor.
So and these are probably the verses that got read to the girls in Britain who were, quote, groomed, because they talked about them reading the Quran verses to them, telling them they deserved this. And they telling that they can force them to do these things, and Allah will forgive them for for forcing them to be used. And so they don't have to. This is just disgusting. I'm sorry. Allah is such a perv. I mean, anybody who can't see that, really scary.
Okay, 35. Allah is the light. of the heavens and the earth. His light is like a niche, which is a lamp. That makes no sense because a niche to me means something else. The lamp is encased in a glass. What does he say?
Hey, wait a minute. A niche is like a little. I mean, what's your interpretation of niche?
Well, like for instance, you got let's say you have an area like health, and then a niche would be like it's in health, but maybe it's in natural remedies.
Yeah.
That would be a niche of
if we're
health.
talking about a physical room, a niche would be
a
little space within that room.
I guess another word would be it's a subset.
So it would work to okay. His light is like it doesn't work. No matter how you try that, it doesn't work. How would the empty space in your room be like a lamp?
I don't know. And also a lamp, like what you says, a lamp does not produce light. It is the container of light. The lamp is encased in the glass vessel. So why?
No, I think Allah doesn't know it requires oil.
why does Osama say? Oh, okay, okay. So this word, according to Osama, number 8 means glass vessel, but it's it's a word that's not Arabic. It's Syriac. So it goes. The lamp is encased in a glass vessel. But then Allah uses the word the glass vessel. I'm confused.
This again, second language people.
I mean, if the zujaja is a glass vessel, but that's not an Arabic word, but then Allah uses the glass vessel as it were a glistening planet. It is lighted from a blessed, oh God, number 9. A blessed olive. Okay, back there, I guess the oil came from the olive trees. Okay, from an olive tree. But wait a minute, there's no olive trees in Mecca.
What did Leah? What did you want to say?
Oh, I thought you were looking for something to get translated.
No, I was trying to see what Osama was saying.
About olive trees.
Yeah, there's zaytuna. Oh, I know what that means. Zaytuna. That means olive in Portuguese. Because it was a tuna. Look at that. So that's kind of like I'm not sure how it's spelled because I only went to first grade in Portugal. But hey, look at that. But there's no olive trees in Mecca.
I don't think there is to this day.
No, I don't think there is. Una zaytuna. Yeah, una zaytuna. Yeah. Tu queres uma zaytuna? Okay. It is lighted from a blessed olive tree, neither of the east.
So hold on a second. I'm sorry, I got to go back just a second. Your lamp is in clay, and we got the glass vessel, as it were a glistening planet. So a glistening planet lit from a singular tree. I mean, are you setting fire to the tree and the oil's just there? I mean, sorry. Wow. And there's no fire here. There's light, but there's no fire. Wow.
I don't think Allah knows that you get oil from the olives, not the tree. But I guess the olives are in the tree, so maybe he thinks that the tree also has oil. I don't know.
It would make sense if Allah doesn't know.
But this olive tree is neither in the east nor of the west. So where is this olive tree from?
Petra, maybe?
What's number 10? Oil. Okay. Whose oil would almost shine out, even though fire did not touch it.
See, I told you there was no fire there.
I mean, Allah, you're confusing us. Allah guides whom he wills to his light. Okay. And Allah gives
fire did not touch it, light on light. Yeah, that is just bizarre.
And Allah gives the parables to men and Allah has knowledge of everything. What parables? We still have not seen.
He just showed us he didn't know what an olive tree was. He doesn't know. Yeah, wow. It's just so bizarre. How can he claim to know everything when he's clearly showing us he knows very little?
And all
He
of a sudden,
doesn't.
it jumps to 36. In houses which Allah has allowed to be raised, and his name is remembered in it, praise will be lifted to him in it, in the morning and in the evening.
So wait a minute. Are we only talking about 2 required prayers now?
Well, I think at best there's 3 prayers in here.
But it says right here, praise. I mean, is praise part of the prayer? Lifted to him in the morning and the evening. You get away with nothing else, so you don't have to do the other 4 times.
I guess not. So the only reason that you can
3 times.
raise a house is because Allah allows you to raise a house. So, well, I know for sure my parents raised a house, and it wasn't because of Allah, because we don't believe in Allah. Okay. Excuse me. Oh, my throat's dry. Men who neither merchandise nor selling. Okay, does that make sense to you? Men who neither merchandise nor selling.
It doesn't.
Distract the remembrance of
So merchandise in a retail sense is you're putting your goods out.
He is selling some bad juju beans.
And if you're not selling your merchandise, yeah, it's exactly it. You have bad merchandise.
So you got a merchandise to sell, and do not distract. Okay, so men who neither merchandise nor selling distract the remembrance of Allah and the performing of the prayer and the bringing of the legal alms.
Wait, this is a problem. Allah is able to be distracted. So humans can take Allah off task?
Well, he's talking about men being distracted. I don't think he's talking about Allah being distracted.
Distract the remembrance of Allah.
Right. That means it's distracting the men from remembering Allah.
Okay. Maybe.
I mean, you know.
Okay. But it's not a bad thing. It's because
right. So it's keeping you from remembering Allah by you're not performing the prayer.
Okay.
And bringing of the legal alms. I wonder what happens if you bring illegal ones. Okay. Let me just check the back channel, make sure. Oh, Leela just dropped out. So let me see what's in the private chat. Be back in 1 second. Okay. It might take you more than a second because I can't tell when you're back. Okay.
I'll watch. I haven't even looked there.
Yeah, I think she'll post on the private chat. They fear a day in which their hearts and eyes will be turned around. Okay, man. Does that mean my eyes are going to go to the back of my head?
I'm confused.
Yeah. So my hearts are going to turn around. Well, that's not good because if my heart turns around, that means it rips my aorta.
I don't think Allah understands basic biology classes.
Yeah. And the eyes will be turned around. I mean, I don't know.
My eyes are turned around. You're going blind.
Yeah, it's either going blind or they're going to go in the back of your head. You know, they're going to slide over. All right, 38. That Allah will reward them the best for what they have done, and He will increase them from His bounty. And Allah provides to whom He wills without accounting. Well, Allah, how do you know what you have if you don't keep an accounting?
Well, see, this is a severe problem. If
I am looking for some gigs. Did she come back yet? She says, "Be back."
I think Allah could use an accountant if he doesn't have an accounting.
All right, 39. And those who became infidels, their works are like a mirage in flat lands, which the thirsty thinks to be water until when he comes to it, he did not find it anything and found Allah there.
Wait a minute. He just said it was a mirage. Why is Allah there if it wasn't real? That's quite a strange thing to say. He thought there. So you find Allah where you were deceived?
I guess. I mean, I don't know.
That's the way that reads. If you're deceived and you go there, Allah's there. Well, He is the best of deceivers. So
Maybe this is one of Allah's parables. Okay, so
never know.
and found Allah at the mirage where there was no water. So he gave him back his reckoning, and Allah is swift in the reckoning. Now, I don't know what that means. He gave him back his reckoning. All right, she's still not back. I'll just wait for you. Or like darkness on the deep sea, when covered by waves on waves. Now, this is one of those Quran miracles. Did you know that it's dark in underneath the deep sea? No kidding.
Wait. It didn't say underneath. It's on the top, or like darkness on the deep sea.
Right, but that's the claim that they make. When covered by waves on waves, and then that's a miracle. Did you know that waves have waves? Okay. On top of it, clouds. Oh my God! You mean there's clouds on top of the sea?
Well, so wait a minute. Okay, I'm sorry. On top of the clouds. Okay, darkness. Some of it's kind of like if you didn't know that, something's not right in your head.
And on top of or like the darkness on the deep sea when covered by waves or on waves, on top of it clouds. Okay, darkness. Some of it is above others. I have no clue. If he pulls out his hand, he can hardly see it. And whomever Allah does not make him light, so he will not have any light. Okay, unless Allah's going to make you blind.
Again, he doesn't light the light. Did he? Allah does not make to him light.
Allah, unless you turn off the sun or make these people blind, then there's going to be light. Okay, whether you like it or not, there's going to be light.
We have Darcy just popped in, not in the room, but she's in the chat room. Just want to say hello. We've had Daniel in there, Michael, Marion. Just want to say thank you to everybody.
Yes, thank you for everybody. Darcy, Mikhail, Marion. I know XYZ was here earlier. Jesus must be working. Otherwise, I think he would have come backstage. Have you not seen that Allah? Okay, have you not seen that Allah? Allah what? All that is in the heavens and the earth and the birds in flight praise him. Okay. Everyone indeed knows their prayer and his praises. And Allah knows what they do.
Allah keeps bragging about himself because this is Allah speaking. We have a problem if Allah keeps... This is the... again, I keep saying this. It's not... This is not good that he's doing this. I mean, bragging about himself. I mean... Maybe this is Muhammad speaking in the third person. I don't know.
And to Allah the kingdom of the heavens and the earth, and to Allah is their final return. Okay. Have you not seen that Allah drives the clouds, then blends them together? Oh my God, that is like, ooh, I've never seen that before. Then piles them in masses. Oh, never seen that either. So you can see the rain coming from their midst.
Hey, what does Muhammad do when he sees rain?
He runs.
No, he strips off all his clothes and runs outside.
Yeah, right. He runs butt naked.
He runs butt naked. Could you imagine this? You got a prophet, or you're imagine being the wife of. I mean, ladies, imagine being the wife of this guy. As soon as it rains, your husband strips off all his clothes and runs outside.
Muhammad becomes a streaker.
A streaker. I would think you would be so embarrassed.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that. Let me see. according to the hadiths before they changed it, he's a short guy. He's a dwarf who's fat. He's a pudgy little guy. All right, so you see the rain coming from their mists. Okay. And he brings mountains of hail from the heavens.
In the desert?
I guess.
Okay.
And he gives it. So Allah gives hail to whom he wills and turns it away from whom he wills. Does Allah not know that hail is not a good thing?
I'm kind of curious if he knows what hail is, but
I'm
I'm not saying you can't have it. It's just a little, unusual for a desert weather. But
yeah, I mean, but regardless, hail is not something that's pleasant, especially depending on the size of the balls.
yeah,
I've seen some big ones and lots of damage to car windshields.
I've been outside when it's been so hard. It feels like little nails.
Yeah, when you get pelted, those little bad boys, they're coming down at a pretty good click.
Yeah.
Oh, my virgin eyes. Okay. And so he gives the hail to who he wants, and he takes the hail away from who he wants. I'm not sure why I would care, but that's okay. The brightness of his lightning almost takes away the sight.
Well, that actually makes sense because lightning can take away. I mean, it is blinding. It is a flash. Yeah.
I mean, you'd have
oh my gosh, did we find something that made sense?
Yeah, but you would have to be kind of close for the lightning to blind you.
Yes.
And I don't want to be
struck by lightning. You can't.
And I don't want to be that close because when I worked at the airport, I was sitting in the ramp office and lightning hit the pole where the airplane was charging up.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that was not a good thing. Allah alternates the night and the day. Surely in this is a lesson to those who have sight.
Wait a minute. Does he not know that there are different time zone type thing? And yeah, Allah doesn't understand.
Yeah, but the thing is that night and day does not alternate. They're stationary. And night really is just the absence of light.
Yes.
So if the earth would never rotate, then you'd have one part would have light all the time and all the other parts would suck.
Poor Allah, he just doesn't know again.
I mean, Allah could say, and because I put the earth and it rotates on its axis, because it's not like the sun turns off, like on and off switch. Allah goes to the sun and say, "Hey, turn off that light."
I do like Marion put this stuff about the clouds in perfect wisdom here. In other words, Allah's wisdom is anything that any human can observe.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, just about everything that's in the Quran, people would have observed. Oh, here we go. One of my favorite
I won't say that because all of these stories are just so bad that most human beings would never tell them.
Okay, all beasts were created from water. This is taken from Genesis, and I sure hope Genesis doesn't say that.
No, it doesn't.
No explanation is given for the animals, such as the kangaroo, which hops rather than walks or slithers. Oh, there's lots of things here. And Allah created, I debated this one before. And Allah created every creature from water. I would like to see a study that says that is true. Some walk on their bellies. I'm sorry.
How do you walk on a belly?
You cannot walk on your bellies, and some of them walk on 2 legs. Okay, that would be humans. And some walk on 4. What about the ones that have 6 legs and 8 legs?
Okay, so walking on your belly is not slithering. Yeah. I mean, we have to have legs to walk. Maybe Allah doesn't know that.
I mean, and even a crocodile that's really low, when they start walking, they come off the ground.
What about
so their bellies are not touching?
What about the creatures that are called insects?
Well, Allah doesn't know about insects. Because Allah doesn't know that spiders don't have 4 legs, and God
or
forbid,
6 legs, or
God
now we're
forbid
up to
this,
8.
God forbid the centipede. Damn, how many legs did they have? Okay. Surely Allah has might over all things. Now, see, just by saying creature, we don't know what that entails. Does that include just warm-blooded mammals? Does that include amphibians? Does that include reptiles? Does that include insects? We don't know.
Maybe he was just talking about fish. I mean, that might be more believable, but he's
Yeah.
in the desert, so you really have to ask questions.
And indeed, we sent down our clear verses. No, Allah, they're not clear. We struggle to read your book. Maybe we need Arabic.
Even if you read it, I mean, we've got a pretty good translation here. You really need help. Stop using command language. Stop using generalities and start putting in some details. Maybe we'll get it.
Let's see. Built for Speech says the reading is different in the online Quran. It says Allah alternates the day and the night. Surely in this is a lesson for people of insight.
Okay, what was that? 2444. Let me go back.
Yeah, that's the one that
Allah
says
alternates the day and night. Surely in this is a lesson to those who have sight.
Yeah.
Oh, so they changed the wording.
Wow. You can't trust anybody. Let me see. Islam Awakens. We are at what? 2444?
Correct.
44. And I found out before that you can't even trust the Arabic word for word. Okay, for some strange reason.
Marion's right. The Abduls are repairing the online Qurans.
Apparently, okay, it did come up. Okay. Alternates all of the night and the day. Indeed, in that surely is a lesson for those who have the vision. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, sight. Yeah.
Yeah. According to Muhammad Assad, there is surely a lesson for those who have eyes to see.
There we go.
Pictoff says a lesson.
The online Quran has lied to you. But then they don't, again, in the just so people who don't understand this, it is in Reliance of the Traveler that Christians are not to read the Quran.
Yeah. Or teach anybody.
I'm saying anybody who's not a Muslim isn't supposed to be able to obtain a Quran. I'm just going to read this real quick. Out of Reliance of the Traveler, it's K1.2, under that section E. If the Quran is being purchased for someone, it is obligatory that the person be Muslim.
Uh-oh. Well, ladies and gentlemen, then this is why I have 36 Qurans. Well, not Arabic, but I do have 3 Arabic ones. And I have all the Hadith collections, the Bukhari, the Muslim, the Abu Dawud, because you know what? Marion is correct. They are sanitizing and either getting rid of things or changing things, because I guarantee you, Sunnah Abu Dawud used to call Muhammad a fat dwarf. I no longer see that. You know what they did? They made the reference to Muhammad being short and fat, and saying that it's talking about a companion of Muhammad, not Muhammad. But that's not what the Hadith used to say. Those lying bastards.
So that makes sense. If he's short and fat, that would make sense why people kept saying, "Where is Muhammad?" And then they'd say, "Look at the white guy over there." I mean,
the fat white
he's
dwarf.
short. They didn't see him.
Yeah. 46. Okay. Okay. Indeed, we sent down our clear verses, and Allah guides whom He wills to a straight way. 47. And they say, we believed in Allah and in the messenger, and we obeyed.
So I want to go back to that last verse. I'm sorry. If Allah guided us in a straight way, wouldn't He be the guy who's actually guiding everybody? Or if He's not guiding everyone, how do you call it a straight way? because he guides who he wills.
Who knows? Built for speed. Thank you. Listen, we subject our brain cells to this just for you guys. Okay, because otherwise, I mean, you get the idea. We're not actually learning anything. Well, no, I take that back. We are learning that the Quran is the clearest mud book. And they say, we believed in Allah and the messenger and we obeyed. Then a group of them turns away after that. Well, I guess the message was not really all that exciting. And those are not believers. Okay. And when they are called to Allah and his messenger to judge between them, then a group of them turns away. Okay.
49.
Yeah. And if there is truth to them, they will come to him in obedience. Come to who? I guess the messenger. Is there in their heart a disease? Or are they in doubt? Or are they in fear that Allah and his messenger treats them unjustly?
Is there in their heart a disease? What are we even talking about?
Who knows?
They will come to him in obedience if there's in their heart a disease, or are they in doubt? I mean, are we talking about health? Are we talking about spiritual issues? What are we talking about here? I mean, these generalities, again, con man language, it's so, anybody can interpret it any way.
Well, apparently it looks like, according to Marion, they took away the verse they used to say that Allah fastened on the earth on the back of the whale with mountains as pegs, so it wouldn't slide off of an online Quran before they censored it. Yeah, well, I think it is in Osama's version. Like I said, this is why I like PDFs. I would not spend money. Now, to be honest with you, I do have Yusuf Ali's Quran, a physical book, but I wouldn't spend all this money to go buy 36 different.
I don't think his Quran has the whale mention, because we read this before. It had he was using a word that wasn't mountains; it was
stabilizers.
Stabilizers.
Yeah,
but there wasn't a mention of a whale. That I don't remember seeing a whale there.
Well, there was a whale, but it's not this whale. Remember, it's the whale that Moses or the people of Moses had. And then they forgot the whale, and then the whale got away and jumped back into the sea.
Yeah,
it
wasn't put together.
Yeah.
But then that's half the Quran; it doesn't flow. I mean, actually, 99.99% of the Quran it doesn't flow.
Okay, 51. Surely the words of the believers when they were called to Allah and His Messenger that He may judge between them was that they only said, "We heard and we obeyed." And those are
surely the words of the believers.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we haven't heard what the believers are saying when they were called to Allah. We don't know why He's even judging them. When they said all they're saying is we heard and believed and obeyed. Is that something you would judge something over? I mean,
I have no clue.
Oh, wow.
All right, 52. And whoever obeys Allah and His Messenger and reveres Allah and fears Him, so those are the triumphant. And they swear by Allah with the most solemn oath, which we don't know what that is, that if you command them, they will go forth. Number 11, perform jihad, the holy war.
Oh,
yeah.
Swear by Allah with the most solemn oath that if you to go forth in jihad. Wow.
Say, do not swear a known obedience. That makes no sense, Allah. Surely Allah is aware of what you do. Say, obey Allah and obey the messenger. So if they turn away, so surely on him only what he carries, and on you what you carry. Again,
does that make any sense?
No, it doesn't.
So obey. I guess you're saying obey. Go out in jihad, since we know they're talking about jihad. So if they turn away, if they don't go into jihad, so surely on him only what he carries. It doesn't freaking make any sense.
No idea. And if you obey him, you will be guided. So if you don't obey Allah, you won't be guided. But we
Well,
know
no,
he
I'd
doesn't
say
want to be
okay.
guided.
If we're talking about jihad, and if you go out in jihad, you're going to be guided. But if you don't,
And the messenger's responsibility is only the clear delivery. Well, Aleph and Muhammad both failed at delivering anything that's clear.
I think Allah
Allah,
got an F in the concept of
yeah,
clear communication.
Allah promised those who believed among you and did good deeds that he will cause them to be successors on the earth. And he also gave successors to those who were before them, and that he will surely establish their religion for them, which he pleased for them, and that he will change them after their fear, security.
Okay,
That
so
is,
we started to have some sense, and it ended with a. I mean, and now we're in an incomplete thought
yeah,
that
he
he will
screwed up.
change them after their fear.
He
I
screwed
have
up.
no understanding of what he just said.
I mean, he screwed up. He was doing somewhat okay. Okay, this is how Surah 5148 looked when I copied it back in the days when I first started listening to CP. Okay, that must have been a long time ago. They will serve me, they will not partner anything with me, and who becomes an infidel after that? I don't know what that means. So those are the transgressors. So they will serve me, and they will not partner anything with me. And who becomes an infidel after that? Okay. All
So,
right.
I mean, who's serving?
I guess the Muslims.
And so the followers of Sharia, the lovers of Sharia, they will not partner, okay, because they're following Sharia, and who become an infidel. So you
So
have
I
people
guess,
becoming a Sharia who are becoming infidels who followed Sharia.
yeah,
It doesn't make
basically,
any sense.
because they used to
So, wait,
serve.
wait, they read the Quran and they left. Oh, they became
Yeah, they
intelligent.
probably said this. They probably said this is the most laughable book we've ever seen. Because notice they used to serve and they used to believe, and then all of a sudden they became infidels. I think I went a little bit too far because part of here. Okay. And perform the prayer and bring the legal alms and obey the messenger. Perhaps you will receive mercy. So after all of that, perhaps you can't give me some kind of assurance.
Well, it's Allah. Allah's the God of perhaps. He just doesn't know 99% of the time.
Do not think that those who become infidels hinder on the earth.
Can you take
Their
off
abode.
Darcy's quote? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. What did Darcy put? Did she put something good?
No, you highlighted a message. That's what
Oh, hide the current one. Okay. I was gonna put on my accent. Do not think that those who become infidels hinder the earth. Their abode is the fire, and the evil is the final place. Here are
okay,
some.
wait, hold on. Here are some rules for privacy. Wait a minute. The women don't get privacy. So who are these rules for? Are they only for the men?
Probably.
Because the women
Well,
you could
let's
be
find
exposed
out.
to so many people. Oh my gosh.
Ooh, we're almost done because 12 slaves and
Wow.
concubines. Slaves and concubines. All you who have believed, let those whom your right hand possesses, your slaves and
Slaves.
your concubines, and those who have not come to the age of puberty among you, ask permission of you 3 times. I don't know what that means. Before the dawn prayer, and when you lay aside your garments at midday, and after the evening prayer. Ooh, what does this mean? 3 nudity to you. What does that mean? What does that mean? Let me go see. What verse
Wait,
is this? 58?
Allah is just so clear here.
58. What the heck, Osama?
3 nudity. Again, Allah is just so clear. We're back to talking perv. Allah's back to showing he's a perv. Oh my gosh.
Okay, this is a big verse. The general, no, that's Osama's. Okay, let's see what it says. Oh, you who believe, let ask your permission those whom possess your right hands, and those who have not reached puberty among you 3 times. From before the prayer of the dawn, and when you put aside your garments at noon, and from after the prayer of night. These are 3 times of privacy for you, not on you and not on them any blame after them
Okay, so
moving
it
among
sounds like they can
you.
take off their clothing at midday, which would be the peak of the heat, I would guess. And at night, when you go to bed after the evening prayer, I would say this is probably bedtime. It's okay to be naked. Is what it sounds like.
Yeah, let me tell you, these people, this word for word is cockamamie. They don't even have the anything that would even allude to being naked.
Wow.
Let me see what Pictol says. I don't think Pictol does it either. Pictol says, "O you who believe, let your slaves and those of whom you have not come, and those of you who have not come to puberty, ask leave of you at 3 times before they come into your presence, before the prayer of the dawn, and when ye lay aside your raiment for the heat of noon, and after the prayer of night, 3 times of privacy for you. It is no sin for them or for you at other times when some of you go around attendant upon others." Yeah, I mean, there's nothing there. There's nothing. Okay. Uh, Now Muhammad Assad says, and after the prayer of nightfall, the 3 occasions on which your nakedness is likely to be bared.
See, yeah, so we're there. 3 nudity to you. It's really Allah's peeking at his incoherence.
Yeah, apparently, during the noonday, you go naked.
Well, I mean, I and if you got to think about the heat of the day. If we're talking Saudi Arabia at the peak, we're talking 120. I'm not saying it's if you ever talk to somebody from Pakistan and it's the heat of the day, they're probably not going to be fully clothed. And that's a truth. Okay, they are. If you're going to talk to them at the peak of their day, it's 120 degrees over there. Now start thinking about Saudi Arabia. We're talking, yeah, it's 120 degrees. Are you expecting people will be wearing a suit of clothing, a full dress, and everything? And the answer is no. I mean, that's the culture. You have to, I mean, to survive, you can't wear all those layers. You just can't.
So basically, what I'm reading here is there's 3 times that you're going to be naked before you do the dawn prayer. I guess you're naked. Maybe
Okay,
you
so this
sleep
is
naked.
when you go to sleep, when you wake up.
So when you wake up, so before the because it's saying, okay, it says, "Oh, you who have believed, let those whom your right hand possess, the slaves and the concubines, and those who have not come to the age of puberty among you, ask permission." So they have to ask permission, I guess, before coming into your house.
Well, no, I think they have to ask permission to. I don't know what they're asking for.
Yeah,
I mean, they're
I'm
kids.
I'm I'm thinking is permission to see you because before dawn
Maybe
you might be
permission to.
naked, so they have to ask permission. When you lay aside your garments at midday, you're going to be naked, and you're going to be naked after the evening prayer. 3 nudity to you. So I guess those are 3 times that you might be naked. So please ask permission before you come inside my house. No sin will attach to you or to them if after those times when you go around to visit each other, they come in without permission.
So
Yes.
yeah, this is people coming in
Yeah,
without
coming
permission.
in. Yeah, coming into your house.
Wow. So
That's why we have a door and we knock on it. Likewise, Allah makes clear his verses to you.
that
We
was
know,
not clear. I'm sorry. That was
and
not clear.
Allah is knowing wise.
So he just showed he didn't know what.
And when your children come of age in maturity, let them seek permission as those who were before them seek permission. Seek permission for what?
We haven't learned yet. What are they
Likewise,
seeking
Allah,
permission for?
likewise, Allah clearly shows you his verses. And Allah is knowing, wise. Another keep repeating the
Not
same
showing.
thing.
I think he's compensating again.
Oh, check this
He
out.
clearly isn't.
If you're an older woman, you don't have to wear an outer garment. You can just wear your knickers.
Does Allah like old women? It's what's making you wonder.
Well, I guess Allah figures nobody's going to look at an old wrinkled old woman. Unless they do Botox or plastic surgery.
Oh my God.
And to women who are past childbearing and who do not wish to have sex, there is no sin on them if they lay aside their clothes. So basically, you can be butt naked. But
wait, you can't, because it says, but not showing their ornaments. So
wait a minute.
Almost naked.
Okay, so
wait. Ornaments is hair, but we kind of saw
so they can,
earlier. It was your breasts and your hair.
Does that mean that you can go around butt naked, but you just have to cover your hair or your boobs?
Sounds like you have to cover your hair and your
But
boobs.
Allah is saying, yet if they abstain from this, it will be better for them. And Allah is hearing, knowing.
It doesn't sound like he hears or knows anything.
Check this out. There is no sin on the blind, and no sin on the lame, and no sin on the sick, and not on yourselves too. Oh yeah, here we go. We finally came to my incoherent. Okay, there is no sin on the blind, and no sin on the lame, and no sin on the sick, and not on yourself to eat from your houses.
Wait a minute. So it could have been a sin to eat inside your house?
Yeah, I guess. Or your fathers, or the houses of your mothers, or the houses of your brothers, or the houses of your sisters, or the houses of your paternal uncles, or the house of your paternal aunts, or the houses of your maternal uncle, or the houses of your maternal aunts, or of those which you possess his keys, or your friends. Oh my God, what the hell is... I mean, seriously?
So if you have a party and you have friends and family over, there's no sin.
I really need Allah to tell me that there's no sin if I eat in my house. or any of these houses on the list here.
Sorry, wait. Was there anything that used the word friend? Oh, yes, it does.
Okay, now here's a problem. Or of those which possess his keys, or your friends. Now, this makes me believe that this Quran was written in a time when there were keys. I do not believe that there were keys in the 7th century in Arabia. In order for you to have a key, you got to have a lock. Now, we do know that that the Quran was canonized in 1924. There were keys and there were locks.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think we're running into problems here.
Now, is it typical for tents to have locks and keys?
Well, even I mean, even when we talk about mud houses or adobe type houses, you can have doors, but in general you don't have keys to them.
Yeah.
So this concept of keys to a door, this is problematic at this time period.
All right, let me see what these guys say. Yeah, you can't have keys without having a lock to. You need a lock to unlock it. All right, let's see what the clear verse for verse. Okay.
The only thing I knew really, the only place I know that really had keys to doors was dungeon type doors or jails or.
Yeah, I don't think that existed in Mecca or Medina in the time of Muhammad. Yeah, nope. These guys are also mentioning keys or your friends. So they had keys and they had locks back in the 7th century.
Well, I mean, again, if we're talking about prisons, it makes sense. So these guys all lived in prison cells. I mean,
could be.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Leah forgot the concept of I'll be back in a second.
that's okay, Leah. We love you.
Oh my God, wasn't that a mouthful? And the houses of this, and the houses of that, and the houses of this, and
My
those.
question is, why is any of that important?
I don't know.
Why do you need permission? Why would it even be thought of as sinful to gather together as a family, or or to gather as friends? Or the only problem I have here is this one. It says, "Or a witch who possesses keys." So I can go to my friend's house, who I have his keys, and we can have a wild party there while he's gone. That I have a problem with.
But so I was trying to say that, hey, it's okay for the blind man to eat in his house. It's not a sin. So it's not a sin for a blind person or a lame person or a sick person or even yourself to eat from your houses and a whole slew of other. I mean, it makes no sense. And then possess his keys. Now that's a good one.
So again, if you own somebody, if you like your friend says, "Can you watch my house for me?" And just go water my plants. If you're a follower of Sharia, you can now go over their house and have a wild party eating over there with all your family and friends, and it's not sinful.
Okay, because here's something that I'm looking at: City Security Magazine, talking about the history of locks and keys.
Okay.
Why is my internet so slow? Okay, there you go. It could be the website. All right, let's just for curiosity's sake, let's see what it says. Because I think it mentioned 8 or 9 cents. Okay. The first key, Theodorus of Samos in the 6th century BC. Ooh, there were keys back then.
Yeah, there were keys, but I just can't see them there.
Invented the first key, according to Pliny the Elder. Stories in Greek and Egyptian history refer to locks and keys. Oh, darn it.
But you got to understand, locks and keys make sense in that community. Right. We're talking about large amounts of people. We're talking, and here's the other thing going on in Greece at that time. Perversions that are unbelievable. So to protect your family from the perversions, you had a locked door.
Huh. Okay. So I learned something. I didn't know that keys went back to BC.
Yeah, I know they go back that far. I mean, this is what I'm saying for prisons and things like that. But for your door, I mean, I don't know how many people are used to. I can think back far enough where you very rarely locked your door. In the 60s, it was. I don't think anybody really locked their door unless you were in the city around the time of race riots back in the 60s. I don't think anybody really did. And when you lived in the suburbs, again, you rarely locked your door. Today, you might do it every day. If you live in the UK, it's not that long ago you didn't lock your door. But since 2015, that lock is on the door every night.
And you know, it's funny, Paul, when I went to Canada in 1993, my uncle lives in Brampton, which is in Ontario. And I was surprised that they would leave their doors unlocked.
Well, I was up in Canada in the 80s, and we were picked up, and I was with a college group. We were traveling, singing, and went to a farmhouse. They just left everything wide open. It was just for us, that was kind of a surprise, because many of us were. I mean, you go to the dorm room, you lock your dorm, you have to lock the outside of the door to the dorm. You have to lock your door to your room. Yeah, and then you get to this place and everything is open. Like I mean, the next house is a couple miles down the road. But I mean, I get that concept. But yeah, today I think they probably lock everything.
I mean, my parents never left the door open. I ain't leaving my door open. Now, if my dog would really be an attack dog, that'd be a different story. But I don't know what that. She'd probably lick him to death. Or maybe her size, because most of the time people get scared just because of her size. They look at her and they're like, holy moly, I ain't, if they only knew. Okay, so no sin will be attached to you, whether you eat together or separate.
Oh, please don't read
Why
through
would that be a sin? Seriously, having sex with a 6-year-old is not a sin. But whether you eat together or you eat separate, Allah needs to tell you that that's not a sin. So when you enter houses, so salute one another with a good and blessed greeting from Allah. Okay. Likewise, Allah makes his verses clear to you. Not really. Perhaps you may understand. Now, wait a minute. If the verses were clear, then we would understand. Allah wouldn't say, perhaps you understand.
Well, remember, we got the God of perhaps here. He knows that we can't possibly understand him because he doesn't communicate clearly. So it's perhaps. That's the only time I'd say, this actually, I'm sorry, we have come across the truly clearest part of the entire Quran. Perhaps you may understand.
All right, 62. Surely the believers are only those who believed in Allah and his messenger. And if they were with him on any affair of common interest, they do not depart until they ask his permission. Surely those who ask your permission are those who believe in Allah and his messenger. So if they ask your permission for some of their own affairs, so give permission to whom you will among them and ask Allah's forgiveness for them.
Yeah. What
Is
do
this
we ask
where
permission for
Muhammad
here?
wanted to kick people out?
I'm trying to figure out what we're asking for permission for. I mean, the believers are only those who believed. They were with him on any affair of common interest. They do not depart until they ask it. What are they asking permission for? To leave the party?
I don't know. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. Surely Allah is knowing and hearing. Oh no, forgiving and merciful. Okay, do not make the call of the messenger among you like the calling of one another. Indeed, Allah knows those who withdraw quietly from you, hiding themselves behind others. So those who disobey his command, be aware lest sedition befall them or a painful torment falls on them. Did you understand any of that crap?
Torment again.
But I don't understand. What does he mean? Do not make the call of the messenger among you. What's the call of the messenger?
Where was that again?
63.
Let me go back up here. Do not make the call of the messenger among you like the calling of another. So I guess they're saying you can't, whoever the messenger is, his message should be stronger.
That's
the only thing I can make of that.
I mean, at this point,
don't make whoever this messenger is. It doesn't tell us who the messenger is. That's an important thing to. So, I mean, this doesn't even. Sorry, let's make this even more specific. We don't know who the messenger is, or if we're talking about all the concept of messengers. So, if we're only talking about you haven't been given a specific messenger. So, do not make the call of the messenger. Could be any messenger. Like the calling of one another. So if messengers are supposed to be the ones that confirm the prophets, so their words should be important and they should stand out. I mean, I can get that, but if this is the best that a messenger can do, we're in trouble. We're in trouble.
64. It is not surely to Allah. Oh, I'm sorry. Is it not surely to Allah what is in the heavens and the earth? Indeed, he knows all about you, and a day they will return to him.
Well, what okay, he knows all about what day? What are they returning?
I guess it's resurrection, but Allah is not telling you. So he will inform them of what they did. Allah knows all things.
I thought it was perhaps he knew.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, look, we finished.
Yeah.
Oh man, we're on
24. We're heading down to 25.
Wow,
the discriminator.
Wow, what the hell of title is this? This should be fun. Hold on a second. Okay, so this is what, 25? So we need to go to 26. Whoa, slow down, Bobo. Okay, there's 9 streets. Okay, yeah. Found another big spot on my dog in the back. I know, man. She's killing me. Okay, the discriminator. Blessed is he who has sent down the discriminator on his servant, so that he may be a warner to the world. What the hell?
Wait. You know what? Is this the first? Is this the? Oh, wait. The chapter is called the discriminator. Is this the first and only chapter so far that actually used the name of the chapter in the first verse?
In the 24 chapters that we've read, I do believe so.
So we're now 1 out of 25. Actually, wow, that's just shocking. I didn't think that would ever happen.
Okay, blessed is he who sent down.
We don't know what a discriminator is. We don't know what the purpose is.
Okay, according to it's the Furqana, it's the criterion. Why did Osama use discriminator?
We have to,
because on the word for word it says, blessed is he who sent down the El Furqana, the criterion, upon his slave, that he may be to the worlds a warner. Muhammad
discriminator would be okay. So you can almost So if I look at this as an educator, a discriminator can be a tool. So it doesn't necessarily mean a person. It can be a tool that you use to determine something.
Yeah, most of the other ones.
The criterion and discriminator here could be the same word.
Okay. Hold on a second. I see somebody in the background. Oh, Leia's back for round 2.
Hey, Leia.
Hey, guys.
This chapter uses the word discriminator. We're in chapter 25.
El Furqana.
Verse 1. What is for? Say that word again.
What did I say?
Furqan?
Yeah, El Furqan. Or
what does that word mean?
I think that was another word for Quran, and I don't even think it was Arabic origin. Let me try to get it for you.
Most of the translators, they translate that into the criterion. It's not the Quran, because the Quran is El Qurana. This is the Al Furqana or Furqana.
Let's see what she figures out. It's just, again, it's a shock that it's in the first verse.
Yeah, I don't know.
We've gone through 24 chapters and we've had to go digging deep to find actually what the where it's actually mentioned. And in the first verse, wow.
Let me put it on the chat. Oh. Furqana. Let me go over here. Let me put over here. Because one of the names of the Quran means the standard to distinguish between right and wrong.
It symbolically still means the Quran symbolically, because by which standard do you judge as a Muslim? You judge with the Quran. Okay. So I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you the 7th century definition. So if you give me,
which criterion would still be correct, because the Quran would be the criterion for you to judge with. The discriminator, that I don't know. All right, but let's keep going.
All right.
Okay, God has no son. We read that before. This includes Jesus and any partners in his kingdom. He who has the kingdom of the heavens and the earth, and he did not take a son. Okay, at least this one does not say some son. And it was not for him to have a part in the kingdom. Actually, I'm not even sure.
Not for who? Are we talking about? Who are we talking about here? He who has because it's not even specifically talking about he who has the kingdom of heavens and earth. So if we're talking about Allah, and Allah is supposed to be the one speaking here, right? He's talking about himself in the
Yeah, it's
third
supposed to be
person.
Allah. Well, it's supposed to be Allah.
Okay, a little scary. He who has the kingdom of the heavens and the earth, and he did not take a son.
They say dominion. I guess dominion, kingdom. I'm not
kingdom words. Dominion, same thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same word.
Okay, he who has the kingdom of the heavens and the earth, he did not take a son, and it was not for him to have a partner in the kingdom, and he created everything. So he determining. Okay. That makes no sense, but that's okay. And they took without him gods. They left Allah out, shame on Allah, who do not create anything. And they are themselves created. And they do not possess to themselves harm nor good.
I'm a little confused here. They took without him. Does that make any sense at all? They took without him gods?
Well, I guess they needed Allah's permission to take other gods. Allah did not give permission.
They took without Allah. There's no permission here. They took without him would be Allah. They took other gods besides Allah. Is that? I mean, I guess that's the close. Who did not create anything?
Yeah, I guess
I can get it now. It just
I guess what Allah is saying is they took other gods besides him, and these gods they don't create anything, and they don't they don't do any harm nor any good,
and they are themselves created.
Yeah.
Well,
and they do not possess death nor life nor resurrection.
Yeah.
So they basically, I guess he's talking about
their stone, their rocks, their trees, their wood, their plastic. Yeah.
Right. Infidels say that the Quran is a fraud and is copied from earlier books. No kidding. And those who become infidels said this is but a fraud of his own devising, and other people assisted him. So indeed they came unjustly and with falsehood. And they said, the legend of the ancients that he has written down. So it is dictated to him morning and evening. So when Muslims say that Muhammad can't write, okay, if Muhammad indeed couldn't write, why are people accusing him of writing? Do they not know that he cannot write? It defies logic. I would not say, if I knew Paul couldn't write, I am not going to accuse Paul of writing.
The legends of the ancients that he has written down. Who is the he here?
Muhammad.
Well, no, we don't know that because again,
we don't know that. Right. If you and I were to pick up this book, we have no clue.
But again, if we don't know that, I mean, this could be the one who could be doing the dictating could be Muhammad.
Could be. I mean, we really don't know, but because of the fact that they say this Quran was revealed to Muhammad, it's Muhammad.
Well, we know that somebody did the writing for Muhammad. We know that, so it would be Muhammad doing the dictating.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they're accusing Muhammad of writing it down because it says that he has written down. It doesn't say that he had somebody else write down.
But I'm just playing with this again because we don't. Again, they can say this is the con man language again because there's generalities. We can't know what the real meaning is here.
Right. So basically,
what did you find?
Basically the same thing. It's saying like the criteria or the science by which man can judge good and evil. The earliest definition that I'm finding, because this website has so many different dictionaries, it's taking forever to load. The earliest I'm getting is the 1700s, saying the Quran, science by which man can judge like good and evil. So if it says criteria in the context of the criteria, is the way that you're judging things.
Right.
It makes sense that it's talking about the Quran, even though it's not specifically.
Yeah, the Quran. I was just
because there was no Quran at this point, and that's what makes it even more humorous.
Yeah, that's the other problem. I was just curious as to maybe we can ask him Saturday if he comes up, is why he used discriminator versus criterion or the standard.
Up here and highlight it. If I remember, I'll send it to him.
Yeah, so he's being accused of writing down legends of the ancients.
He may have meant because there's another word that says that's called something بيفرق or الفرق, which is the difference between something. So I don't know if there's a link between that word and Furqan.
Well,
I'm gonna double check that.
Discriminator and criterion can mean the same thing. Is all I'm saying. It can mean the exact same thing.
That's why I think that's why he chose that. So I'm gonna check the root word, the root letters, and see if it.
All right, so I'm looking at this and I'm thinking about it. The legends of the ancients. He was accused of writing down stories that belonged to other people.
Yes, that's what it's
Muhammad. So, and of course he always gets them wrong and he messes them up every single time. I wish he didn't, to be honest, because then it might be actually enjoyable to read. But
yeah, but see, but this presents a problem to the Muslims who say Muhammad was illiterate, because these people knew Muhammad.
Yeah,
they would have known. Again, like I said, it would make no sense to accuse someone of doing something if you knew he couldn't do it. If they knew that he was illiterate, why would they accuse? It would be senseless. That's like saying, what's a good comparison?
So where does
the blind man saw Paul steal the pair of sneakers.
So the question now is, where does this fall in the line of chronology? Where does this chapter fall?
This is chapter 25, right?
25.
Let me see. I have to pull up my my huge spreadsheet. Where is Quran Bible stuff? Let me see. Where is Quran?
Marianne's right. You know, she says plenty of Abduls have told her that Muhammad had scribes. We know that. I mean, I've yet to meet. Well, I've met one Muslim that didn't know Muhammad couldn't write, but I've only met one. To be honest, that's it.
Let me see something. Let me see. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, I got to put this in traditional order. Okay, all right. You know what? I hate this Google.
I was in France, and we had Muslim Brotherhood imams, getting frustrated with imams coming from Africa that couldn't read and write, and they were saying, they can't do their job unless they learn how to read the Quran, and they were angry. And so my question that I've always wanted to ask, that I never asked, but I was laughing. I'm sorry. They were trying to be perfect like Muhammad and not being literate.
Okay,
so how do you?
This?
Yeah.
Trying to find 25. I'm having a hard time. which is weird because.
All right, it's been a while since I've looked for it.
Okay,
20, I mean, these are questions to ask because.
Oh, okay. Being accused, okay. Chapter 25 is really chapter 42.
So we're talking somewhere in midway.
We're talking about
the Medina chapter.
I'd say maybe like 25. No.
You would think if this was a Medina or Yathrib, or whichever you want to call it,
that
they would at least know that Muhammad can't write.
It's a Mecca verse, so it came 44. So again, these people would have known Muhammad couldn't write. Read or write.
So a form of plurality for the word that I talked about that means to separate or differentiate, and it's also another one of the names of Quran. That's why I knew that before. That it was also alluding to that, but yeah. So he's kind of right, pretty much in the way that he translated it.
Yeah.
He just translated it, I guess, linguistically, kind of more accurately, I'd say, in that word. Because when it comes to criteria, like it's not the full encapsulation of what the word means, but differentiating or would be better, but also discriminating, I guess. It's fine too.
All right, number 6. Say he has sent it down. Who knows the secrets of the heavens and the earth? Surely he was forgiving and merciful. Well,
Allah doesn't know the secrets of the heaven and earth. We see that because he talks about a flat earth. He talks about flat layers of we had Allah reaching up and holding the heavens. Didn't we have that earlier?
Yeah, because he thinks
Allah does not know the secrets of heaven.
He thinks the heavens are solid, and and you can put a crack in them. Some believe Muhammad was bewitched. Okay, well, and they say, what sort of messenger is this? He eats food and he walks in the streets. No, wait a minute. Wouldn't a human eat food? Were it not that an angel had been sent down, so he will be a warner with him.
Because there's no angel there.
Or a treasure would be cast to him, or to him was a garden, he eats from it. And the unjust said, this makes googly gobbledygook.
Yeah, it's gobbledygook.
This is incoherent, man. And it's not even making any kind of sense. And the unjust said that you are following but bewitched man.
Okay, that makes sense.
No.
That you are following but a bewitched man does. Everything else made no sense. But that you are okay, so we have one complete sentence and everything else is incoherent.
Apparently they also have parables. See how they give parables to you. So they have gone astray, but Allah gives parables. So they have gone astray, so they cannot find a way. Blessed is he who, if he wills, makes you better than that. Gardens below them, the rivers. Again.
Okay, we have again we have incoherence. Then we have, and then we have you're following but a bewitched man. Now we have incoherence again. This is wow.
Below them the rivers flow, and he will make castles for you. Ooh, now Allah's going to make castles.
Wait, now we have a severe problem. Castles, I don't think did they exist in Saudi Arabia at this time?
I don't think so.
Wow.
I mean, the Romans would have had castles, but not
I don't know, but I don't know about that time period of, because I don't know. Yeah.
Well, we know the Muslims had keys and locks on their doors.
Someplace. Okay. It doesn't sound like Mecca.
Okay.
Not all of them. Does he say that?
Huh?
Yeah, we were. I'm going to take you back. We were in chapter 24.
We're reading the verse where it's not a sin if you eat in your house, if you eat in your parents' house, and if you eat in your... Oh, God. Yeah.
Okay, so no. Yeah.
Perhaps you may understand.
Okay, possess keys. This is where I said you can party hardy at your friend's house as long as you have their keys. don't bother telling them you're going to party there, but invite your neighbors and invite your friends and your parents and everybody. Come on over party because you got their keys.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, yeah. Let me go back to where I was at. Okay, number 11.
It's funny because Allah wouldn't say that if it was the person's parents' keys.
Well, I wouldn't say it if it was his house.
So now we got Allah making castles for you, I guess, in paradise. Okay, number 11. Yet they denied the hour, and we have prepared a blaze for those who deny the hour. When hell sees them from a far place. Now hell has eyes.
Wow, I mean, you and I had the same thought.
It's raging and exulting.
So hell not only has eyes, it hears.
When hell sees them from a far place. Okay, so the people here, it's raging and exhaling. So not only does hell see, but hell exhales. Okay.
No, it hears.
No, they hear. The
They
people
hear.
hear the raging and
Oh,
exhaling
wow.
of the hell.
The crazy thing is, like, the last context that you see for the word exhaling is when he was giving life to something.
And I think she just dropped out.
Hello?
Yeah, I hear
She's
you.
still here.
Oh yeah, so
Where'd
it's
you go,
just kind
Leia?
of, it's crazy. Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, my
What
bad.
does it mean?
So it's funny. I'm just
Paul looks
saying,
frozen.
pointing out that the last time he said
You can't hear
exhaling,
me?
I can hear you guys. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So the last time,
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Paul, yeah,
I can hear you.
guys,
Okay, that's weird.
yeah. Can he hear us?
I
Yes.
can hear you.
Okay.
Paul was frozen, but I'm looking at the internet sign and it said it was fine. That was weird.
They could hear me, I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
So
But
12. So when hell sees them, meaning the people that are going to go into hell, from a far place. So hell has eyes.
mhm.
The people hear the raging and exhaling of the of hell.
So in stories, in mythology, we take them Greek mythology. You can go into different cultures and you hear this mythology where there are people suffering in a concept of hell, and their torment is heard outside of hell. And this is the closest I can get. I mean, there's moaning, there's groaning, there's no life breathing, but the moans, the groans, the torturous sounds, that is as close as I can get to this. But if you hear the raging, I mean, the raging is not raging sounds like anger. You wouldn't hear anger; you'd be hearing moaning and groaning and cries for help. So the raging doesn't make sense. But yeah.
Huh. All right, 13. And when they are thrown into a narrow place in it, bound together, they call thereupon perdition.
What?
Yeah.
They call upon.
They call upon perdition.
Wow, that is just bizarre.
Today,
Yeah,
do not
book. I'm sorry.
call. Okay, so then it goes 14. Today, do not call one perdition, but call many perdition.
Let's just look up that definition real quick. I'm like,
I mean, I know Muslims have a problem with the definition of words, but it looks like Allah's got a problem with words too.
the word perdition. I'm just going to pick a dictionary, a Webster, and I'm just going to throw this over on the screen for a minute.
Let me switch back to StreamYard.
No, I've got it.
Oh, okay.
You'll see it in a second. Perdition, eternal damnation, archaic, utter destruction. Does this make any sense? I mean, that says something.
Basically, Allah is saying, do not call on eternal damnation. Today, do not call one
destruction. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Doesn't make sense, but that's the best that Allah can do, I guess. Kufar, are you here?
I think he disconnected.
Okay. All right. So I guess today, do not call one perdition, but call many perdition. Say, is this good?
He may have called on perdition, so he disconnected.
Yeah. Okay, it was destructive. It was destructive. Reading this is destructive to our brain power. I'm sorry. Is this good or the eternal garden? I mean, that sounds like there's two things there: good or eternal garden. It's not the same thing, which is kind of, because that's why you have the word "or" there. So the eternal garden isn't necessarily good. That's quite a statement. Which is promised for the fearer. So only the people who fear Islam, who fear the Sharia, get to go. It's quite a statement about Islam as a whole. It was, well, I didn't realize what time it was. It was a reward and a final place for them. It's very unclear. The command language is back again. They will have what they desire in it forever. It was a responsible promise from your Lord. Did you get a promise? Was there a promise here? I mean, because it says, is this good?
Is it responsible too? Like,
Yeah, there's nothing clear here. I mean, is there good or the eternal garden, which is promised for the fear? Okay, so the eternal garden is promised for. It doesn't say it's promised. It says, is it which is promised? This is really questionable. Is the good or the, so we don't know which one's promised, the good or the eternal. Oh, wow. Hello? Leah?
yep, I'm with you. I
Yeah,
just
okay.
have a
I
screaming.
just want to make sure because I couldn't hear. All right. And I think we lost Kufar. So I'm going to, oh, you must be back. Okay.
Yeah, can you
And
hear
a
me?
day he will.
He called on
Welcome back to your show.
Brother Kufar that you
guys,
called on tradition so much that you left.
You know what it is? I think the government of the UK got to me because I'm using a VPN from UK. I don't know what happened.
We are down to I'm having a good laugh with this. We're verse 15. Is this good or the eternal garden which is promised? So we don't know which is promised. It's good or eternal. You have apparently the good is not eternal.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I just realized it's been 2 hours.
Yeah, I do realize that. Yeah.
So we'll have to pick up on, I guess, 16.
Okay, so we'll stop there.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining. Hopefully we'll do it again tomorrow. I'm trying to keep it at 2 hours so we don't, get people upset and have to listen to this. Leia, thank you. Let's see what else. Built for Speed, everybody that's on the chat, thank you. Mods, thank you for getting rid of Allah's little nuisance sex bots. Marion says there is a paradise in my country too. Yeah. Okay, Darcy, good night. God bless you. And okay, why is this? Now my VPN's kicking in. Okay, so let me end the broadcast and end the broadcast. I'm connected back to London.